A very good evening and welcome to our coverage of this PL2 game live from Leigh Sports Village. It's Manchester United up against Chelsea. The Blues looking to finish their season on a high as the campaign winds down. Kick-off just moments away and all the action is live. Well, let's have a look at how things stand before we get underway here. As you can see, Chelsea starting the night in fourth. Manchester City already confirmed as champions of the division this season, but the Blues could go as high as second with a victory here tonight. Manchester United down in ninth. This is their first season back at this level and they are well clear of the threat of relegation. The bottom two go down. An 8-point buffer should secure that they are not involved in that conversation. Well, let's have a look back at how the Blues got on in their previous game. It was a thoroughly enjoyable 1-2, a 4-1 win away at Spurs. George McEachran got the party started from the penalty spot. A game this in which Chelsea were utterly dominant and in keeping with their good form of late, unbeaten in 7 coming into this match. And what about this man, Tiano Ballo, having a terrific 2021. He's the Blues' top scorer in PL2 this season. Spurs did get one back from the penalty spot in first half stoppage time, but rather than start a fight back, it only served to anger Chelsea, who scored twice more, including 3 minutes after the restart. We're giving this to Harvey Vale. Might officially go down as an own goal by the Tottenham goalkeeper. Doesn't really matter too much. The identity of the last goal scorer was not in doubt, and it was a most welcome one too. Good play from Dujon Sterling in the build-up, but it was George Nunn who eventually put the ball in for his first goal of the season. Well, Manchester United coming into this game off the back of defeat 3-0 against Manchester City this time last week. They've actually lost their last 3 matches and conceded 3 goals in each of those. So Chelsea will be confident of getting a decent result here tonight. Not least, Sam Parkin, because you and I were together back in December to see the Blues put 6 past this opponent at Kings Meadow. We're expecting something similarly high scoring tonight, hopefully.
Yeah, I think just looking at the league tables, you see that Manchester United have got plenty of goals in their ranks, just maybe not that adept at keeping them out at the other end, and you always expect goals in the Chelsea development squad. That said, it's been a little bit of a lean year in that respect for them, but in recent weeks, you know, plenty of opportunities created and starting to take more of those chances.
Let's have a look at how the Blues line up today. 4 changes from that match against Spurs that we saw the best of, including in goal, where Lucas Bergstrom's preferred to Ethan Wadey. Sam McClelland comes in for Donnell Simiyu. McClelland will captain the side as well today. Elsewhere, Miles Peart-Harris in for Lewis Bate, and Jude Soonsup-Bell is in for Marcel Lewis. Soonsup-Bell scored on his Premier League debut the last time that these two met. Plenty of familiar names to many of you there, I'm sure. And familiar names in the Manchester United lineup too. Brandon Williams played in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea last season. He's played 11 times for the first team this. Amad Diallo, Ivorian, who came in from Atalanta, who's also got first-team football and first-team goals actually this season is included. Shola Shoretire is another one who has played for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season. Well, hopefully, Sam, they tend to go one of 2 ways, these games, don't they? But both teams relatively free of pressure as the season winds down, so that tends to mean you either get a high-scoring, thoroughly enjoyable game or the other way around. But if it's anything like it was in December, we should see some goals tonight. Hopefully,
yeah. And the Chelsea team and players have played their way back into form in recent weeks. It's a really nice little run that they're on. 7 games unbeaten now. They can focus on these 3 games and hopefully get that second position. Obviously, Manchester City have done brilliantly this year. But, yeah, finished strongly. A couple of games against Blackburn to come. But this is always a nice fixture, always a good game at this level. Looking forward to seeing some of the younger players, especially off the bench tonight, get their opportunity.
Yeah, we've enjoyed the clashes between these two at various academy levels over the years. You think back to a Youth Cup tie we didn't particularly enjoy here, but we did see Mason Greenwood score a hat-trick. Remember Tammy Abraham having a brilliant Youth Cup game against United, and a match that Marcus Rashford played in. Might well see some players today who you'll be seeing a lot more of in their respective shirts. We're going to have a delay to kick off because Amad Diallo has got some jewellery on that the referee Aaron Jackson thinks he should not. Well, there's a lesson for you, Sam. You score against AC Milan in the Europa League a couple of weeks ago, and then at Leigh Sports Village you're not correctly attired and you can't start the game. Now Diallo can come back after his telling off. Usual formation then for what we're used to seeing Chelsea playing in recent times, Sam, with a 3-4-3 to mirror the first team.
Yeah, but interestingly, seeing some players in slightly different roles. We've seen Ballo playing as a deeper midfielder recently and doing it to great effect, so looking forward to seeing him in there. Really good tenacity I think he's shown in this new role. We know he can play with the ball, but he's been actually winning it, you know, stopping counter-attacks and starting Chelsea's attacks as well. So he's really come to the fore in terms of his versatility, his maturity, and looking forward to seeing the two behind the front. Obviously Harvey Vale getting an opportunity as a 10, and George Nunn just on the ball there playing wide left. Seen him all season trying to get that maiden goal, got it last time out from this position, and I'll expect to see him getting round the far post, especially when the ball's been delivered wide from the right. I think he'll do that really well given his prowess as a striker in his early years.
Here he is on the ball, Nunn. Feeding it into Soonsup Bell, scored 3 minutes into his debut in PL2 when these two met at the end of last year. Extraordinary game that Chelsea won 6-1. United were totally hapless at the back, and they might be in trouble here early doors too, because Ballo was putting the pressure on Mark Helm, but he managed to deal with it.
Might actually help George Nunn, or be a bit of a welcome relief playing a slightly different role to just take that pressure. Yeah, and he's got his goal now. That was a really nice first little touch there, lovely slide rule pass in field. Obviously he'll want to go back to, I'm sure, playing his more natural position, but for the moment it might suit him.
Here's Soonsup Bell. Fish went to ground to get the ball and did so. Fish has started more games than anybody else for Manchester United in PL2 this season. He's got the captain's armband on as well. There's a coming together between two United players, and one of them was Diallo, who really has had a start to forget in this game. He's got to go off again. He's wondering what he's done to upset the referee in the opening 2.5 minutes. Chance from the corner then. McClelland is one to watch out for from these kind of positions, the Chelsea number 3. Livramento's available for a short one, but it's scooped up by McEachran, and half a chance for Harvey Vale. Pretty slack marking from the corner. All smiles for Andy Myers. Knows his team can't retain the title they won on points per game last season, but still been a really positive campaign overall, given the challenges that everybody has faced. Here's Fish. Reece Devine is the centre-half alongside him. Fish looking wide left, that's a decent ball as well. Anthony Elanga's chasing it down, Dujon Sterling's there with him. And Sterling expertly took the ball from him and gave it back to his goalkeeper.
He's looking brilliant in this role, isn't he, Dujon Sterling in the back 3. Maybe that's where he's going to end up. Obviously seen him so often playing as a right wing back ordinarily, maybe higher up in a 4-2-3-1, but just looks brilliant, you know, winning the ball back and then I suppose giving it quite simply into the midfield players, but also he's got the ability to break forward and create overloads as that overlapping outside centre half. So looks to be in great form right now. Great nick.
Free kick in a good position for United meanwhile. Mejbri and Diallo, the two players over the ball. Fisher's come forward for it. Mejbri hit it into the wall. Vale got his head to it. Sent in by Charlie McCann. Diallo to go all the way back. Chelsea had a good shape about them then, and United couldn't find a way through. Here's Medjbri. Good challenge to win it back from Ballo. Harris will chase, but again, in going to ground, United make sure they get the ball. Reece Devine that time. Pitch looks in pretty good condition. Maybe something to do with the fact that the Rugby Super League season's only just started. Now then, no flag here. Real opportunity for Miles Peart-Harris, and he dithered, but it's crept in anyway. Oh my goodness me, what a crazy goal. Chelsea ahead, United looking for a flag that never came. Peart-Harris thought he'd blown his opportunity, and somehow it ended up in the United net.
Brandon Williams wants offside. Just the ball clipped forward. I think he's maybe the one playing him on. Peart-Harris gets a lovely slice of good fortune because it took an absolute age to get the strike away. It's a bit of an embarrassed celebration in the end. Somehow it squirms off the coming together between him and Williams into that far post, agonisingly away from the goalkeeper. Brilliant pass, mind you. And Biamba picking out Peart-Harris's run.
Well, we'll give it to Miles for now. I think the deflection was probably key. I think Nathan Bishop in the United goal might be disappointed, to put it mildly, with how that came about. But Miles Peart-Harris has given Chelsea the lead. He joins Tiano Ballo on 7 goals in PL2 this season. It's actually his first goal since the turn of the year for this team. He got a hat-trick for the youth team a couple of weeks ago against Villa.
The pictures are inconclusive, really, as to whether he just strayed a fraction early, but lovely pick out from Biamba with a beautiful pass.
Cross from Vale as well. Well, United conceded early on a couple of times when these two met back in December. I wonder what the mentality is going to be now. A team that ships goals by the bucket load of late. Conceded 52, well 53 now. Only Southampton, the bottom side, have got a worse goals against column. Bergstrom's clearance, Ballo did well to get there. Here's Mbuyamba. Player we're really excited to finally get to see, Xavier Mbuyamba, having arrived in, well, got injured shortly after he arrived, I should say, from Barcelona. Watched him come off the bench and score against Southampton. Catalogue of errors really for the goal, wasn't it? I'd say you could blame Williams for being the one playing them onside, or the rest of the defence for not being in the correct position, or the goalkeeper for not reading the ball.
The pitch seems to have been heavily watered. Maybe that was a slight contributing factor as to the way the ball just squirmed into the far post. There's been a few players losing their footing in the early minutes. I imagine the pitches are getting quite hard now, so some of the players will be opting to wear moulded studs. George Nunn just lost his footing in his own 18-yard box a few moments ago. Quite a lot of players going to ground.
Mentioned it's a rugby league pitch, Lee Centurions, whose season's just getting underway. Manchester United's women's team play here as well, so it has had a full season of football on it. Clean from Bergstrom. Williams got his head to it. Desperate to make amends, I'm sure, for that mistake. Here's Fish. Been very inconsistent this season. wins in their last 4, but they'd won 3 in a row not too long before that. They've had some big wins as well. Mentioned they conceded 6 against Chelsea. They scored 6 against Leicester and Blackburn. Feast or famine with this particular iteration of the Red Devils side, it would seem. Diallo using the trick to try and get away from Nunn, and then too tricky for his own good in the end. Bergstrom couldn't quite pick out Livramento. Haven't seen much of Tino Livramento yet. Sam can be so inspirational and influential for this Chelsea team when he gets on the ball.
Yeah, I think him and Nunn will be important though. His Nunn is doing some defensive duties. I think that big switch of play that we've seen Mbuyambo try and play a couple of times actually, kind of a crossfield ball that set Harris away for the goal, but I think that'll be in the tactics this evening, trying to create 2v1s with the wide players and one of the number 10s, Harvey Vale, playing on the left-hand side with Nunn. Likewise, Peter Harris and Livramento, and the 2 outside centre-halves have definitely got that range of passing, so I think it's one way to stop a team who's going to be quite resolute, I think, going to get players behind the ball, Manchester United, so it's important that you shift it quickly.
Livramento trying to get involved at the other end of the pitch, but easy for Divine to defend on that occasion.
Be a good shout for Young Player of the Year. They're still doing that. I'm sure Tino Livramento will be at the forefront of people's minds when it comes to that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's only missed 1 game for this team, and that was when he was suspended.
Yeah, he's probably been consistently the best at this level, hasn't he?
I say that, he missed out the other week, didn't he, when he was in the FA Cup, so he's only missed 2 games, I should say. He's certainly had a breakthrough season playing for the England under-20s. This is it for these two now. Just a couple of PL2 games left after this. Both double headers actually. Chelsea against Blackburn Rovers and United against Derby. United promoted last season on points per game, in 2nd place in PL2 Division 2 behind West Ham. Kekren giving away a free kick for a foul on Mejbri.
Yeah, it's an interesting setup, Manchester United. Mejbri at times is the furthest forward player, occupying the number 9 position, but he's allowed, or given the freedom to go wherever he pleases, really. He's been absolutely clattered. Mbuyamba smashed into him a few moments ago, and it's probably the type of situation that he tries to avoid. Plays one touch very quickly, doesn't want to play right up against the centre-halves, I would imagine, but Mbuyamba came through him with a really tough challenge, and that was another one from McEachran. But yeah, they're not really playing with a number 9. Choratier in that position now, but he tends to be the deeper one.
Meanwhile, here's Diallo. Bergstrom's come right out to the edge of his box, and he's gone further than he should have, according to the referee. Well, this is an interesting one for Aaron Jackson. Bergstrom wisely departing the scene of the crime as quickly as he can.
Yeah, it's really good movement actually from Diallo. Comes infield off the right hand side, beautifully found. Look at that delivery. Just loses his bearings a little bit.
It's difficult to tell from that, isn't it? The referee was a lot closer than us. Mejbri was asking if there's going to be any... Oh, it's a red card. Lucas Bergstrom is going to be sent off. What a dreadful shame this is. It was a matter of inches. A player trying to rebuild his confidence after that late concession in the Youth Cup. Chelsea up against it now. 15th minute of the match, and their goalkeeper has been sent off. So Ethan Wadey is obviously going to come on, but who's going to go off? Let's have another look, Sam.
Yeah, we said after the Youth Cup game that he's going to need some kind words to restore his confidence, and obviously shown their faith in him by picking him this evening to get back on the horse, if you like. And highly rated goalkeeper. Just been a bit of a nightmare week or so for him.
Well, John Harley and Andy Myers have got some reshuffling to do. It'll be interesting to see who is sacrificed here. Wadey, the American, coming on. He started the last game against Spurs. This is his 5th appearance in PL2. Looks like it's George Nunn who is the unfortunate man. One of those, isn't it, Sam? By the letter of the law, maybe he was just outside the area when he touched it. But yeah, the referee's been keen to let everybody know that he's in charge, hasn't he? We saw that from even before kick-off.
Yeah, it looked to have just strayed outside the area. I wasn't sure first viewing, had to see a couple of replays, but yeah, just unfortunate really. Just lost his bearings. Brilliant movement, great pass as well. You can understand why he was tempted out of his goal. Maybe just, I don't know, just delaying his step a little bit so he was able to clear maybe.
Nothing that Andy or John can say to George Nunn, is there, apart from sorry? I mean, it's just the way that it is, isn't it? Somebody's got to go.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And you've got to accept that sometimes. You know, when people see red, unfortunately, normally someone's sacrificed so they can readjust the shape of the team and the personnel accordingly. So yeah, it's never nice. Happened to me countless times. You just got to take it on the chin, really.
You can see the ball's been placed on the line. It was touched off by Shoretire Diallo and straight into the wall. Such a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's not a black and white situation, I always think, with that. You know, he's not deliberately trying to gain a massive advantage by handling the ball. He's just got his angles wrong by a couple of inches, and a red card doesn't feel like a justifiable punishment for what he did.
Well, they've stopped sending people off, what, the last year or two for if it's a genuine attempt to play the ball. And that's a genuine attempt for the goalkeeper to take command of the situation. So I completely... Yeah, it seems really harsh.
But Chelsea have got to readjust to work out what the new game plan is. Really strange start to the match. A very odd goal to put Chelsea ahead, and then a red card for the Blues goalkeeper inside the opening 15 minutes. And Boyamba there, going through the back of Mejbri. Seen his passing prowess, we've seen his goal-scoring prowess, but that's his day job, and he's not afraid to put his foot in.
Yeah, his first challenge, I thought, was uncompromising, but really strong and well-timed. That one might have been a free kick, actually. I think Mejbri just played it round the corner, the contact came after that.
Here's Soonsup Bell. It'll be really important now he holds it up. He's done brilliantly there to bring Harvey Vale into it. Vale leaving defenders in his wake, but couldn't work it back to Soonsup Bell. But Harris was in there too. Livramento's come left side since Nunn's departure.
A bit of spice about the game all of a sudden. McCann unable to live with a strong running of Livramento. Good opportunity a few moments ago. Harvey Vale played in, had to take that first touch a bit heavier across Fish, who ultimately lost his footing in any case. But yeah, Chelsea are going to feel a little bit that they've been hard done by here. Always, I think, frees up the front players to try things when you're down to 10 men, especially early in this game. They've got to have outstanding games, really, be really secure in possession, but stretch the opposition.
McCackren's fall in was a good one. Important touch just ahead of Pert Harris to stop him from having a striking goal. Well, this is one thing that you really want to see from young players, isn't it? Problem-solving abilities. OK, we're in a difficult position now. It's up to you guys to work out how we get out of it. Soonsup Bell will chase this down. Trying to hold off Charlie Wellens. Clever from Ballo. Livramento back on the right for now. Here's Diallo. So has Vale just dropped back a bit, back to a more defensive position? Yellow card for Ballo.
Yeah, it looks like Vale's playing as the left wing back, doesn't it? It doesn't look like the back three's been altered. Just trying to work out what they've done higher up, but yeah, it looks like Harvey Vale's gone to George Nunn's position for the moment.
Ballo's got a long time to play with the yellow card against his name right in the centre of the pitch. Yellow gave it to Wellens. Reverse ball, asking Anthony Elanga to chase. He was quick enough to catch it too. Tire couldn't get there ahead of him by Amber though. Cruncher of a challenge from Will Fish, who, despite his protestations, is going to be the first Manchester United player to be shown a yellow card.
Been some tackles, hasn't there? Again, I think that bit of water on the surface is tempting the players off their feet. That's a really bad one. Soonsup Bell's actually been quite bright since they've gone down to 10. He's going to have to be really good with his feet, recycle the ball for his team, nice and secure. Definite yellow card. Yeah, I think the shape stays the same, albeit they've lost the number 10. So that famous football formation 3-4-2, it looks like, or maybe, you know, I think Peter Harris has probably dropped a little bit deeper into that midfield, so Soonsup Bell's going to be very much up by himself.
First half of the first half has flown by. Here's Mejbri. United looking for an equaliser against 10-man Chelsea. Instead, they've got their first corner of the game. Mejbri wants to take a quick one with Diallo ready for the short ball. McCannon for Brandon Williams. Diallo heavily involved so far. Mejbri's cross has put Wadey in trouble for a moment, and Sterling did the sensible thing and played the percentages.
Yeah, terrific delivery. Really dangerous spot it lands in. Dujon Sterling again defending absolutely impeccably. Wadey's not going to get that. He does well in front of Fish, who'd stayed forward. Do expect that back three to actually be a 5 probably without the ball, won't it, Matt? Probably even from this 22, 23 minute mark. They'll sit in, make it difficult. And yeah, Soonsup Bell will have the big job of trying to get hold of it, and imagine the two wing backs will try and join in, and Pert Harris being the most forward thinking of the midfield players. So it's important you still carry that threat, but with the knowledge you've got a goal to the good, you have to soak up a lot of pressure.
Was Neil Wood, who we saw, by the way, who's the United coach, former reserve team captain. Yellow.
Angie. Injured, didn't he? Come back from Derby.
This is Mark Helm. He put in McEachran not once but twice. He was unlucky that the loose ball ran for Diallo. Helm over the top, looking for Diallo. Important touch from McClelland.
They're going to have to be aware of those little darts, especially from Diallo from the right-hand side, coming infield in between centre-halves, because both two midfield players are going to get much more time probably than they would have anticipated, and both have shown beautiful range of passing already. Helm and McCann look like they can move the ball beautifully between them. And always looking forward to play that pass, breaking the lines.
Well, as you would expect, United having the lion's share of the ball now. Fish. Diallo. Helm. Diallo clipping one in, straight into the gloves of Wadey this time.
Yeah, good take from Wadey, just collides with Ananga, I think, when he's on the way down. He's looking to start an attack straight away, and I think Sam McClelland just tells him to just relax, take his time. Not going to be any necessity for that this evening now.
Well, he'll be pleased that his first few touches have been pretty straightforward, I think, won't he? See him still stretching himself out. I know it's all about preparation, but there can't be many goalkeepers who actually think that they're going to get off the bench in the opening 15 minutes of a game.
You probably go through multiple seasons, don't you? First team level, that is, more often than not, because I know these things can happen, but also they get regular game time, don't they, in different age groups in the academy. But if you're playing second string in a first team, you can sit on the bench for multiple seasons, can't you, and never get your gloves dirty, I would suggest.
Williams. Surprising to see him still at United, really. Thought he probably would have gone out on loan if he wasn't a part of the first team thinking. And Buyamba. Holding the hand of Ballo there, trying to stop him progressing. Like it might have been a foul throw before then, but it's a Chelsea free kick. Meshbury unmissable with that do. Came in from Monaco last year. He seems up Bell there, just makes me think you've got to be really careful about the timing of your runs off the ball, I suppose, in a situation like this, haven't you? Because you could quickly use up a lot of energy that you're going to need as the game goes on.
Yeah, that and without the ball as well. So now he's going to have to shuffle across. He's going to have to be that first line of defence, and you can't go crazy pressing and closing down by yourself. So you've got to pick your occasions now as well. Chelsea's setup looks good though. The 5 across the back, then the 3 in front, making it difficult for United to make headway. They're having plenty of possession, as you would expect, but I don't think there's been anything on either goalkeeper. I can't remember a shot anyway. So the setup looks good. It's just you worry about fatigue setting in because it's going to be so long having to play this way, give up the lion's share of the ball, and have to do an awful lot of legwork without it. That seems to be the threat, the little outside to in runs from the Manchester United wingers. That seems to be the pass because they're not playing with an orthodox striker. So it's an evening where, you know, if they had that facet to their game, Chelsea could be coming under increasing pressure already. But they don't really look like they've got a number 9 in their ranks. Certainly not on the team sheet so far.
Wellens, Sam was telling me before kick-off, is the son of Richie Wellens, who until not that long ago was the Salford City manager.
He's looked comfortable already. I think, like his daddy, can play in central midfield as well. But yeah, playing full-back this evening.
Here he's on the ball. Field to the lively Diallo. Help. Angus cross turned behind off the boot of Vale for a United corner.
There's no way through at the moment. Good defending, Vale and Biamba over this side, making sure that no Chelsea player gets caught one-on-one. Defended well to this stage.
Through Livramento's legs, Diallo got it again. Opportunity here for the equaliser. Great save from Wadey. Flag was up, but Wadey didn't know that as Helm smashed it toward his goal.
Yeah, be feeling really good about things now. Wadey into the action. One good take a few moments ago. Fortunate ricochet. Chelsea unable to clear their lines. Yellow trying to make things happen again. And you just felt that was going to be arrowed towards the far corner. Fortunately for Manchester United, didn't get the direction really. Got the power. Wadey turned it aside.
Livramento's flick on, Vale will chase it. Wellens went to ground and committed, and Ballo's come away with the ball. Great lead from Pert Harris for Livramento. It's too deep for everybody, but Vale will be able to recycle. His touch deserted him. Well, we were thinking we were going to get an open, exciting goal-field game. The sending off might have changed a couple of those things, but it's a really interesting watch. See how Chelsea are dealing with this reduction in numbers.
Yeah, that was a a brief excursion towards the Manchester United goal since the sending off to try and make those sporadic attacks count. Obviously it gives the defending players a bit of an opportunity to have a breather because they're being worked ever so hard. They've been moved around by Manchester United, but when they've got around the 18-yard box, they've lacked that bit of penetration to this point. So yeah, getting at half-time at 1-0, I think they'll be optimistic, the Chelsea players, that they can continue this, possibly nick a second on the break when they can make some alterations later in the half. But for the moment, they've defended really well. The shape looks good.
Lee Grant, the Manchester United coach he is these days, as well as still part of the goalkeeping staff, and with some of the other first team staff watching on. Has played for this team actually, Lee Grant, this season. Ballo pinched it back. From deep. Meshbury chasing, but Brady always favourite. He'll be doubly aware of keeping within those lines now. For Vale, the pass was just behind him. It's allowed United to get players back in position. Ballo set himself up for the shot, always rising though.
He's been really tidy, hasn't he, Ballo? He's been breaking up play, used it intelligently. Just a little bit behind Harvey Vale, as you said, but that's good individual play, coming in field and getting the strike away. Give them the confidence that they can hurt Manchester United, even though they're down to 10 men.
Sterling. No Lewis Bake tonight, but just thinking there, seeing him make that pass, it's no bad thing that Chelsea have got somebody like George McEachran. For the times when they are in possession, give it to him and you're fairly confident that he'll keep it.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a really good couple of minutes. Had obviously an attack a few moments ago, ended in a strike from Ballo, and they've kept the ball nicely there, looking a bit more controlled in possession.
Ethan Wadey from North Carolina. He's had some first team experience in non-league football at Tooting and Mitcham and Dartford. Mentioned about the Chelsea mentality being down to 10 men and how that's important. Works both ways, doesn't it? The longer Chelsea stay in front, the more confidence they get and the more frustrated United get. If it carries on like this, whereby, you know, Ethan Wadey, other than that one which turned out to be offside, hasn't had a serious save to make yet. Livramento can express himself now. And Soonsup Bell has told Pert Harris to go after that, and he's done it. And dragged Devine out there with him. Got the last touch there. Will be a corner.
Yeah, wonderful play from Livramento. Took 2-3 Manchester United players out the game there. Thought he just maybe angled the pass incorrectly, but Pert Harris was able to make up the distance before Devine, who I thought was tempted to slide in once more, could make the challenge. Really good play from him. I think the two wide players still key. Manchester United looked to be really narrow, not getting loads of width from the two fullbacks, but I'd expect them to kick on a little bit. Wellens and Brandon Williams, the front three behind Medjbury, all kind of playing infield.
Boyamba was attacking that at the near post. Had crossed the line despite Harris's best efforts.
Problem you get as well, it's going really well with the 10 men. They've limited United to nothing, but because of that, Andy Miles will probably be quite reticent to make changes, quite reluctant, just in case that hampers all the good work. So he'd probably want to get to 65, 70 minutes if they can keep controlling United as they have done, and then maybe just freshen up the legs more than anything, because they're frustrating United already. They've not made any headway at this point. You'd have expected them to have at least worked Ethan Wadey since he came on.
Especially with the attacking talent they've got out there in Shoretire and Diallo and Alanga. Ismail Mejbri scored goals at this level this season.
Does often happen like this though, doesn't it? It takes a while for the team with a numerical advantage just to work it out. Might need some words of wisdom at half-time, and also the added ingredient of Chelsea players getting fatigued in the second period. Oh, Tino Livramento.
A yellow card for that.
I think he's disappointed because someone tried to take him out during that previous slaloming run. I think that's what he's pointing towards. When he broke away, someone tried to make a challenge on him, was unable to bring him to ground.
So Livramento joining Ballo, having a yellow against their names. Langa's had some treatment, looks as though he's going to be okay. Seconds plus what one would assume will be a fair chunk of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Boyamba got his head to the free kick. Mark Helm picking up the pieces. McCann, Elanga's cross. Dijon Sterling got his head to that. Good header from Pert Harris thereafter. He was determined that that was going to be his ball. Mejbri. Shoretire 1-1. Rifled in from Shola Shoretire, and Chelsea almost got to half-time with their lead intact. But it's a thump for a 7th PL2 goal of the season from Shola Shoretire.
I mean, I thought the opportunity had gone. His first touch was so good, so secure. McClellan had done well to get back into a defensive position. lot of blue shirts around the ball. That touch was immaculate. And somehow when the coming together happens between him and Ballo, he's just able to get the strike away, almost through his legs. It just whistles past Wadey. It's not right in the corner, but there's good enough purchase on the strike to ultimately find the net.
Paid a price for the goal.
Yeah, it was strange, really, because you thought Ballo's challenge was just about to happen, and he somehow was able to wrap his left foot around the ball. I thought the opportunity, the better one, was going to be on his right side after he took such a beautiful touch on the half volley. Frustrating, because I think Chelsea had opportunities to clear during that attack. There was just a little brief switch off from Miles Peart-Harris, which allowed Elanga in down the right-hand side, and those are the type of things you can't afford when you're down to 10. You all have to be so switched on defensively, and of course that's not ultimately everyone's natural game, so it's just those little lapses in concentration where you don't really know the position maybe, or you get found in an area of the pitch which isn't second nature to you. So just been caught cold there before the half-time whistle. Great goal, mind you.
Under pressure from Diallo. Fish. Clever ball from Diallo, good running off the ball too from Shoretire. Williams. Offside. Pimenta gets the decision that time. Elanga. Williams just about able to keep it in. Helm, still we play on in the first half. Here's Williams. McCann, that's a clever ball. Shoretire, 2-1. United have turned it round right at the end of the first half here, and it's Shola Shoretire at the double.
Yeah, all about his touch again. That said, credit the pass through to him, because it's exactly the right pace for a forward player. It's how you want to receive the ball punched in, so you know that your first touch, you can get on the half turn. Dujon Sterling maybe just caught a little bit too far away from the player. Could have just adjusted his position, taken a couple of strides to his right, maybe a little bit deeper. And it's a wonderful finish, you have to say. It's absolutely dispatched once more. Shoretire finding the far corner, the opposite corner, to where his first goal went. Two really crisp finishes.
Only 17, he's already played for the United first team this season. And you can see he's a player of immense promise. Well, it was pretty much the last kick of first half with plenty to talk about. Chelsea ahead after 7 minutes through Miles Peart-Harris, but not long after that they were down to 10 men after Lucas Bergstrom was dismissed, and a Shola Shoretire double at the end of the first half and see Manchester United make that man advantage count at the break. At Leigh Sports Village, the score in this PL2 game is Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. Let's have a look back at how that opening 50 minutes of football played out. I mentioned Chelsea went ahead early on. Lovely ball from Xavier Mbuyamba to take out the United defence. Brandon Williams hoping for a flag that never came.
Yeah, it was a lovely pass, wasn't it? Beautifully found Peart-Harris. Really peculiar the way it ends up in the back of the net. Brandon Williams wants offside, but it looked like the run was timed well. There was a few of those passes early part of the game. Perfect touch. Just looking to slot it into that corner where it ultimately finds, but took an age and got a nice strike of luck with the deflection.
So a good start, but things quickly turned sour for Chelsea. This is the red card for Lucas Bergstrom.
Yeah, it's a good bit of movement from Diallo, who's done that throughout the first half, really. The two wingers have caused problems. He's almost got it between his fingers and his thighs, hasn't it? It's only just brushed his hands, if you like, but it looked to be outside the area and therefore the right decision.
Did much came with the free kick, though. All did its job, and actually Chelsea did their job defensively for most of the first half. Tierno Ballo in a rare foray forward, having a go for goal, but they're going to be few and far between, you'd think, from now on.
Yeah, that was probably the only strike, really, wasn't it, since the sending off. Ballo's been really good in the first half, breaking up play. A little bit higher up the pitch, and unfortunately got done by a couple of really good bits of quality. That touch there, I thought McLennan had done well, and then I thought Ballo was going to make the challenge, but somehow Shoretire was able to wrap his left foot around it, almost through Ballo's legs, and Ethan Wadey can't react in time.
Slashed it into the far corner. That was for 1-1 in the last minute of regulation time in the first half, and then in the 5th minute of stoppage time. Lovely first touch there from Shoretire, and a sure-footed finish too.
It was, yeah. I mean, a wonderful pass. Helm and McCann have been really good. Helm there into Shoretire. Just Dujon Sterling just wasn't aware of his position, but dispatched it brilliantly.
So that's how we stand at half-time. Not the only recent meeting between Chelsea and a Manchester club, of course. The Blues men's senior team beating City in the FA Cup semi-final last weekend. And Emma Hayes' women's side had a key game in the WSL title race against Manchester City on Wednesday night. Let's have a look back at how they got on. So as it stands, Chelsea 2 points clear of City. 2 games left in the title race after tonight. Cuthbert's corner. Sam Kerr's header is squeezed in. Chelsea strike first in this massive match, and no surprise, it's Sam Kerr who's got the goal. Here's Hem.
Managed to get the cross in. It was a great ball too, and it's swept in for 1-1. Chloe Kelly levels. Chelsea's lead lasted for not even 5 minutes. There is always drama when these two meet. There are usually goals too. Here's Kerr. Going to do it all herself, not necessarily a problem. Oh, it's brilliant from Sam Kerr. Can she get the shot off? Penalty. Roebuck claims she got the ball, but I think the referee's got that spot on. Kerr got the touch to take it away from the City goalkeeper. Pernille Harder versus Ellie Roebuck there to restore Chelsea's lead in this crucial game. She's done it. Cool as you like. It's a decent free kick. Back toward goal and flicked over by Berger. It's an excellent save from the Chelsea keeper. You get the feeling she's going to have a big second half. Kirby, oh, that's a really loose one. He's crossed, Bright missed it, Hemps turned it in. City level. And their first thought is to get the ball back on the centre spot. It's a bad goal from Chelsea's point of view. A fantastic delivery, but what a save! Oh, how on earth! That is breathtaking from Ann-Katrin Berger. Just let that bounce, hasn't gone out yet. Now she can get it clear. And as far as bronze. City finishing strong here, and Berger's saved again. And Cuthbert can bring it clear. England's flick on. Here's Sam Kerr. She could win it with the last kick of the game here, Kerr. And Roebuck denies Chelsea victory. But it is a point that feels like more than that. A huge result for Chelsea. 2-2 the final score.
Emma, that was intense for us. How was that for you?
Oh, intense, I think. I think the first half, 2-1 up, comfortable. I think giving the goal away. And for me, it's not even the 2-2. I thought we were passive second half. I thought we struggled to hold the ball up. I thought it was too transitional. I was disappointed with our play second half. And it felt like we just had to hang on, which we did. We dug deep, got the point. I think we all know we can do better than that.
And were there any standout performances for you today? Obviously, Ann-Katrin again had a phenomenal game.
Anne, I think, deserves all the credit. Jess Carter, I thought Sam was immense, and I thought Sophie did the job that I asked her to do to fill in for Magda, and she did it exceptionally well.
And that was an important point going into the remaining couple of games. Head down and stay focused.
I just want to recover. I genuinely just want a cup of tea because that took the life out of me second half. I'll think about Bayern Munich when I've had a good night's sleep.
You took that question out of my mouth.
Sorry.
I was going to say, going into Sunday, a big game ahead, Bayern Munich. How do you recover from such a big game like this?
Listen, I should be sitting here beaming with joy and excitement, but I drive standards. I want us to be better than that. So, do I think we did enough? Yes, but I want to be better. If we want to win the biggest prize, you've got to be better than we were second half. End of subject.
She's got very high standards, has Emma Hayes. Chelsea, 2 games left to go, 2 points ahead of Manchester City in the WSL title race. Sam, you'll be doing co-commentary on the other big prize that the Chelsea women's team are going for, or one of them. Of course, they could end the season with 5 trophies at the Champions League against Bayern Munich. That's the only, it's not a fly in the ointment, that's the wrong phrase to use, but that is what makes the WSL title race more difficult, isn't it? Having these 2 ties against Bayern sandwiched in between the end of the season. It's a case of prioritising or making sure that you're not overloading players, I guess.
Definitely, and we saw that used to great effect in the FA Cup recently. Rolled the dice, played some of the younger players, they came through brilliantly. A lot of the senior players had the night off, able to rest some aching limbs, I would suggest, at this stage of the season, with an eye on that Manchester City game and, of course, with the Bayern Munich games to come. So they'll be motivated. They'll be highly motivated to do better in Germany, first and foremost. I don't think they've ever won there. So I've witnessed a few of those disappointments against Wolfsburg. A great night, I think, in Munich when they got through. Scored an away goal over there, but they'll want to go there and, of course, go one better over the 2 games, which I'm sure they're capable of doing, given the squad they've accumulated over the last year or 2.
Well, if you want to win league titles and European trophies, you need a good goalkeeper. Chelsea got quite possibly the best in the women's game at the moment, and that save that we just saw was almost defied description.
Yeah, I think Emma said her goalkeeper and the PSG are the top 2 in the world, and Berger made an unbelievable save. It was a bit of an illusion. You thought it had maybe struck the bar or something, such was the reactions, maybe going slightly in the wrong direction as well. It was like just clawed it away, so it took a lot of effort, didn't it, to get that point, no more so than that save, which was fantastic. But they'll be really boisterous going to Germany now, full of confidence, full of hope that this can be their year on a number of fronts.
Yeah, well, that is part of a busy schedule that we've got coming up for you. It starts tomorrow, 4:20. That is an hour and 10 minutes before they get underway at the London Stadium. Joe Flemings and the gang will be here with Matchday Live, building up to that massive match in the race for a top 4 finish. Only goal difference between West Ham United and Chelsea. Ahead of that, I'll be at the London Stadium with Jason Cundy for live commentary, which is a part of Matchday Live. And then on Sunday, Champions League semi-final first leg, Bayern Munich versus Chelsea. The second leg is a week from Sunday, but the first leg, which you can see with Sam and Ben Andrews, from 5 to 4 the coverage gets underway. It's a 4:30 kickoff, 4 o'clock kickoff I should say. And then, well, the big games just keep coming, don't they? Matchday Live, Tuesday 6:50, ahead of an 8 o'clock kickoff, Real Madrid versus Chelsea, the Champions League semi-final first leg. It really could be a glorious season for this football club. Want to have a look, Sam, while we await the second half, at the big moment of the half, really, the sending off of Lucas Bergström. Said that he'd been getting games regularly after that mistake in the Youth Cup. To put that behind him, well, he's got another setback to deal with here. It just feels like the punishment doesn't fit the crime.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, but that is the rules, unfortunately, so he probably had to see red, but it does feel like such a minor infringement, and yet you'd think he's probably not going to get to the ball. There's covering defenders there. It's not going to ultimately end up in a goal, and you have to feel sorry for that man again for the second time in a matter of days, really. He's had a real tough period, but he'll come through it. They really rate him.
Yeah, and Chelsea got to use that sense of injustice to try and fuel them on in the second half. While we await that second half, we can have a look back at how the under-18s got on. They were in action earlier this week against Arsenal. And even though they went ahead, it was to be a disappointing day. Winding down their season in the Premier League South at the moment are Ed Brand's team, having exited the Youth Cup at the hands of Everton. Wanted to get some Derby success to try and put that behind them, but that was an incredible goal for the equaliser, and Arsenal would in fact go on and win the match. So difficult, isn't it, Sam, to match the standards of the teams that have come before over the last decade or so, that anything other than winning everything feels like a bit of a letdown.
Of course, I'm not going to say that was a hangover from the Youth Cup, but that would have been a real disappointment, you know, to the staff and also to the players, and in the manner that it happened. Did enough to win that game, did win 2 games in the second half against Everton, and unfortunately, when you are one of the top academies, playing up against teams who are very deep and hit you on the counter-attack, you know, it's a predicament you're going to come up against quite often.
Going to be a change here at half-time for Chelsea. Henry Lawrence will come on to make his first appearance in over a month. He's been on the sidelines with injury. The word we got before kick-off was that it would be Xavier Umbayamba who would be the most likely to come off for Henry to come on to start his path to fitness. We'll wait and see if that is still the case.
Looks Looks like hudson-odoi, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But Harris gone up front.
Yeah, you can understand that, can't you? Just Pert Harris is obviously more used to dropping deep and playing in midfield, and if you're not going to be able to get the ball up to the number 9, then put an extra body in there.
Yeah, I thought he looked very short of fitness as well in the Youth Cup game, hudson-odoi, considering he'd had the period out. With the injury, recovered really quickly, but probably not a night to take any risks in that regard. Could have quite easily, you know, done some damage, maybe, if he's just feeling the effects of the injury that has kept him out for a while. So that would seem sensible. I wouldn't imagine that. Again, under the same circumstances, and Biamba probably won't be risked for too much of this second half, given that he's not had much football at all.
Got to be a change of mentality now, though, hasn't there, after those 2 late goals for United, because it's not a case of holding on to what you've got, and that might even have been the case at 1-1, but they'll have to show some attacking intent at some point, Chelsea.
Yeah, no, have to somehow build a bit of belief. I'm sure Andy Myers and John Harley would have focused on that at half-time, how they can pose a bit more of an attacking threat, because that wasn't evident after they went down to 10 men. So hopefully it means that Manchester United would overcommit and leave 1 or 2 gaps for Chelsea to exploit. Again, Livramento's going to be key. I think he's the one that can carry the ball, got the fitness levels, got the pace to stretch the opposition. Maybe if they just become a little bit complacent, Manchester United, and leave a few gaps. Not seeing too much pace elsewhere in this Chelsea lineup now. That's since Bell's departed to Pert Harris, who's going to play that role now, sorry.
Got it caught under his feet just for a moment. Divine will go all the way back to his goalkeeper. Chelsea only 2 wins away from home in PL2 this season from 10 games played. That one at Spurs on Sunday of last week was the first away from home since they won 4-1 at Southampton back in September. United 5 wins from 10 played at home, and they've beaten Everton, Spurs, Southampton, Blackburn and Arsenal here. Williams clipping one into the penalty area. McClellan got his head to it. Diallo's shot kicked away by Ethan Wadey.
I thought possibly he was in an offside position. We'll get a better idea now if it comes off a Chelsea foot. I don't think it does. I think that's off Shoretiri. And Diallo doesn't really catch it, but Wadey has to be bright at the near post just to block it away to safety.
Mejbri with the corner into the side netting.
It's an interesting setup, Manchester United. I spoke about it in the first half, but I think probably Mejbri is still key because he roams around and he kind of drags opposition players out of their defensive shape, and that allows the 2 outside forwards to make really clever runs infield. They're always looking to be found by the midfield players, but no real out-and-out striker playing up against the back 3, which always say makes it hard when you don't have someone to get into a fight with, to, you know, be able to feel really. You can get pulled around, and certainly evident with this Manchester United setup. 2 forward players have been excellent.
Here's McCann. Diallo skating across the pitch looking for room for a shot, which was deflected a couple of times on its way through.
I think it struck his own man, Shoretiri, who was just again trying to make a little dart to get in on goal. Good play from Diallo, the last touch to take it beyond Biamba. It was really clever. Opened up the space where he could see the target. Fortunately for United, it was charged down.
Mejbri. Welland's cut back for Diallo. Lovely football from Manchester United. Good foot in from Mumbiamba to stop Diallo in his tracks, though. Here's Diallo again. Mejbri got a touch, then Brandon Williams had a thump. Henry Lawrence did enough, and then United asked for a penalty. Two of their own players who've come together, though.
It might have been Ballo who just made that desperate attempt to stop Brandon Williams getting the strike away with his left foot. The right-footed effort, looked goal-bound, caught it really well. They're purring at this point, Manchester United. Some lovely little intricate bits of play. That little touch from Mejbri actually turns out into a good ball. No, I don't think that's a penalty. A couple of really good blocks. Again, Mejbri's position, early part of that move, McClellan just doesn't really want to go with him, pulling him out of that central berth. Lovely bit of play, got a little nutmeg away before he switched the play. Thought there was a pass on for Shoretire, which he turned down. It's just hard for the centre-halves to know who they have to take responsibility for.
Here's Lawrence. Foul there, Livramento's picked up the pieces. That's one. Down Pert Harris. Livramento trying to dig out across, he's managed to win a corner off Helm.
I thought Pert Harris was quite clever there, just dragged Reece Devine down to the deck with him. Allowed Tino Livramento to pick the ball up, worked it well thereafter. Might have been a free kick there. Yeah, just that right arm maybe just helping him on his way to the deck.
Kekrin's corner. Gallo looking to lead the counter. Definitely got something about him, hasn't he, there, number 11 for Manchester United.
Yeah, I think all four of the front players technically very good, sharp, making clever runs as well. Make life difficult for themselves tonight, Chelsea, and they're taking advantage now. They look to be enjoying it, full of confidence. They'll say it was probably just about getting that first goal. Now the game's opened up a little bit.
Penalised. Already on a yellow card. He's got to tread slightly carefully, although that was definitely not worthy of a second. Now, no flag here. Wellens dragged it across the face of goal. An easy chance by any means.
Yeah, again, just a brilliant forward ball. McCann, look how quickly he gets that out of his feet and shifts it into Wellens. He's made a rare raid forward, takes up a really intelligent position again, touches immaculate, just drags the finish across Wadey's goal, but they played a lot of those passes tonight, just preying on those gaps in between the Chelsea back three. Two players in the middle of the pitch who can execute those passes superbly.
Think of plan C maybe, Andy Myers. Going to throw on Brian Fear-Beamer at some point if he does want to put a striker on. Here's Lawrence. Might be able to get on the end of this, Livramento's pass. Rolled it across for the equaliser, maybe, for Harvey Vale. Really good challenge coming in on him just to make sure that he couldn't put it in the net.
Great opportunity. Felt that Nathan Bishop in the United goal just hesitated. Good delivery from Lawrence, and I think Wellens did brilliantly on the far post, maybe just to put a little bit of pressure or a bit of contact onto the back of Vale just as he was poised to find the net. That should give them some confidence. Playing a little bit more in the last 5 minutes.
Biamba. Livramento. Good little spell for Chelsea going forwards. Lawrence up against Williams. Good pull back for Ballo. Good block as well from Reece Devine to mean it's just a corner.
A really good couple of moments from Henry Lawrence. Nice cut back. Played it really well into the path of Ballo. Not sure if he's just whipping that towards the near stick. It's a good block from Devine in any case.
Keckering again on corner duty. Williams can lead the charge up the other end for United. Diallo wanted it, has to check his run. He's onside. To the hour mark. Chelsea were ahead early on in this game through Miles Peart-Harris, but then the goalkeeper Lucas Bergström showing a straight red card for handball outside of his area, and at the end of the first half, Shola Shoretire scored twice for Manchester United to mean that they have the lead. United have never actually beaten Chelsea in 5 previous meetings in this competition. Sterling able to get there ahead of Anthony Elanga. Williams. Well, we've reached the hour mark, and that is going to be the signal for the next Chelsea change. And as was the plan, Xavier Umbiamba is not going to play the 90 minutes. It will be Brian Fiabima who will come on for him. There's going to be some more reshuffling to be done.
It makes sense to get an out-and-out striker on there. Going to need people along with Tino Livramento, I think, who have got the ability to stretch United, especially as they're really compressing the pitch now. The two centre-halves, you know, were marking Peter Harris, were able to push him right up to the halfway line, even sometimes into Chelsea's half. So now they'll have a bit more of a threat at the top of the pitch. Man in the picture now. Hopefully he can have an impact. Don't know what it's going to mean behind.
Helm. Still no substitutions from United. No need for them to change anything at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like they've gone to a back four, Chelsea, so Livramento and Vale as the full-backs. Three in front, and maybe Peter Harris still playing a forward role around Fiabima.
He was forced to go back to his own goal. Fiabima looking to keep the pressure on. Helm looking to work it wide. Pass was a little under hit. United can still come forward though, and Wellens will have the opportunity to put this in first time. What's the referee giving here? Penalty against Livramento. Foul on Shoretire. He might well get the chance to complete his hat-trick.
Well, I've only seen it once, obviously, and it looked like it was just coming together. I'm not sure even if it's a foul by Livramento or if Shoretire causes the collision. I think that's very dubious.
He's been tripped over, hasn't he? He's in between the two players, collided with Shoretire's legs and went over.
I'm not sure if maybe Elanga just bumped into Livramento before the challenge with Shoretire. There's an argument as to who's going to take the penalty now. Shoretire on the spot kicks.
Well, the referee's not going to let him take it because he's had the treatment, and the referee's saying you've got to come off to go back on again. That is definitely what Aaron Jackson just said to him, and he's not going to let him take the penalty. Wow. He's a stickler for the rules, isn't he? We can certainly say that. Hannibal Mejbri is the beneficiary. Neil Wood will have something to say if this doesn't go in.
Keeper, stand on the line now. On the line now.
So, Hannibal Mejbri versus the replacement Chelsea goalkeeper Ethan Wadey. And Wadey saves! And Chelsea is still in it. Williams. Elanga Good save as well it was from Ethan Wadey. Sure, Atire is still waiting for the invitation to come back on the pitch. He's just turned away in disgust. Strange header from Livramento meanwhile, and McClelland has to put it behind for the corner. Well, now sure Atire can come back on, but Ethan Wadey keeping Mesbury's penalty out. Not quite far enough in the corner, but a good save.
Yeah, back-to-back penalty saves as well, isn't it, from Wadey? Yeah, not quite in the corner, was it? I'm a little bit speechless that the referee's deprived the young man of the match ball. Poor thing. Don't come around too often. I mean, it might very well be in the rule book, but it seems strange. Would that happen at the top level?
Here's Livramento at the other end. Now then, he goes down in a collision with Williams, and the Chelsea players think they should have had a penalty. Timo Livramento thinks the world, or specifically Aaron Jackson, is against him at the moment.
Yeah, it looked like there was a fair shout. I'm not sure if the collision came inside the box or maybe just on the outside. Brandon Williams was the United player going to the ground, but Timo Livramento has always got that in his armoury, hasn't he? As soon as he gets isolated up against the defender, so sharp, wins an awful lot of penalties and free kicks in dangerous areas.
It'd be good if we get the chance to have another look at that. It looked as though there was a case to answer. Here's Ilanga. Used the word spicy in the first half, Sam. It's just got a little bit more of that spice back into the game in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Chelsea not beaten yet. Still a quarter of the match to go. No one's asking too much of Fia Beamer there, though. McEachran losing out. Helm going through, and then he's brought down. Another card shown here.
Yeah, looks like he's injured himself in the process, but good play. Mesbury just poking it away from a Chelsea player. Helm with a brilliant driving run, looking to get beyond the back line, potentially to take the strike on himself. McEachran just makes it come to a premature halt.
So that's McEachran, Livramento and Ballo all on yellow cards now. Lucas Bergstrom sent off in the first half.
One charger in line. Standing. Keeper, whistle. Standing, 2 inches this way. Stand. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Foul. And I was just close. Back. Hand the line for us. 8. So you make the line straight. George, come here. In line with this close.
Well, they've just missed a penalty. A free kick in a great position here. They get the third goal, they'll feel that'll be enough to get them over the line here, I'm sure, Manchester United. Ilanga and Diallo over the ball. Diallo hits it. Oh, he's rifled it in. Wadey got fingertips to it, but it was too hot to handle. And Amad Diallo may well have settled this game. It's 3-1 Manchester United.
Yeah, well, no complaints about the award of the free kick. And it's really good strike, isn't it? I don't know, Wadey makes his way across to the corner. And gets a hand on the ball. Might be disappointed considering he's got the hand there, but let's credit the technique and the strike from a talented young man. Just taking it out away from Chelsea.
wondered if he was going off there, but I think he was just sorting out a problem. Be doubly disappointed for Wadey having just saved the penalty. Enough across his goal, maybe. Here's Lawrence. Chelsea unbeaten in 7 coming into this game. Going to have to go some in the last 20 minutes to protect that run. Here's Wellens.
They've been clinical, haven't they, United? The missed penalty aside, can't remember too many chances at all. One really well taken free kick and 2 great finishes. Sure, Tire's had 2 glimpses of goal. Absolutely dispatched them unerringly. I mean, they haven't peppered Wadey's goal at all, which you would maybe imagine with a numerical advantage. So, yeah, it's really good finishing. Sometimes you've got to accept that.
Hello. Leto's cross, oh, that little touch almost took it nicely for Bert Harris. Yellow again. Wellens. Meshbury. Have a go from range, Meshbury, straight into the onto the bonce of Sam McClelland. And for United, by the way, would lift them up to 5th in the table. Comes Wellens' cross, Shuratire, that was his chance for the hat-trick. He's timed his leap, I think.
Yeah, just a fraction too high, good quality. Wellens on the right-hand side, patient build-up. Stolen the march on Dujon Sterling. Another slightly unfamiliar role for Dujon to close out this game, playing as a centre-half in a 2. Used to marauding up and down this right-hand side throughout his academy career and during his early loan spells, but it's been pretty immaculate again. Maybe just switched off fractionally for the second United goal, but done some really good things again.
Here's Shuratire. And again. Apologies if you heard some bad language there. Can understand Chelsea's frustration to an extent, though. ...15 minutes to play. 10-man Chelsea needing to score twice at least to avoid defeat.
Lucky boy, Will Fish. Great delivery, good movement. Just caught a fraction offside. Ryan Beamer, but struck Fish's back. He didn't know anything about it. He could see the number of the Chelsea substitute running towards goal. Would have had a great opportunity of getting him one-on-one.
Doesn't look like Shuratere is going to be able to continue here. The substitutions coming up for Manchester United by the looks of things. Chance for everybody to get a drink. Those Chelsea boys in particular will need one, having played the majority of the game with 10 men. The Slovakian Martin Svidverski, who will come on in place of Shuratere. Funny, isn't it? He scored those 2 great goals at the end of the first half. I wouldn't say he had much other influence on the game, as odd as that sounds. Brandon Williams is also going to make way here. It is Alvaro Fernandez, the Spaniard, who came in last year to Manchester United from Real Madrid. He's a natural left-back, so that is a like-for-like swap for the home side.
It's peculiar for such a right-footed player that Brandon Williams has been deployed so often on the other side. Seems awfully right-footed.
Yeah, you wonder if he ended up getting his first team chance for United because there was an injury at left back, and now he's kind of been crowbarred into that position.
Yeah. I mean, not just because I know his dad, but Wellens looks like a very accomplished player. I think he's a first year as well. Hardly wasted a pass. I would say he's been more impressive than Brandon Williams, who's obviously had multiple appearances for United's first team. But yeah, strange that he seems to play left side, doesn't he, Williams? And done relatively well, hasn't he, in his young career? I think people were talking a lot about him a year or so ago, about being a top prospect, maybe just plateaued a little bit in recent months.
Yeah, 37 first-team games he played last season, and just 11 this time round. But he's off. Here's Lawrence, the Chelsea sub. Helm. Here's Meshbri. Yellow. Oh, and it could be 4-1, and it is. Mark Helm has ended any doubt about where the points are going. Pretty simple finish for him, and United have got a fourth.
Yeah, it's become increasingly difficult for Chelsea as we're reaching the latter stages. A brilliant team goal. It's worked all the way from the left-hand side. Fernandes almost started it, the substitute. That's a great pick out. Nobody's tracking the movement of Helm. Just arrives right, immaculately timed, and then it's a lovely left foot, just steers it beyond Wadey. Really nice controlled finish. Probably the pick of the bunch really in terms of the team essence behind that goal.
Third of the season for Mark Helm in PL2. Chelsea destined for defeat now. Livramento into the channel for Lawrence. Tired looking bodies out there in blue shirts now.
Yeah, they've stuck to their principles in the first half. Manchester United, though, they weren't able to make headway until just before the half-time whistle. But they played some really good stuff around Chelsea's box. They've controlled the game as you would expect, but when it's got into the real vital parts of the pitch, they've got clever footballers, clever forward players who have relished, I think, playing up against 10 men, been able to really express themselves, and the smart, intricate football has ultimately ended in a few chances, which they've just dispatched. They've been so clinical, not run up stacks and stacks of shots, but I think it's really suited those forward players who've played some nice stuff when it's been in Chelsea's final third.
McCann. Here goes Pert Harris. Ball in from Pert Harris, who was working hard there. Elanga. Yelp from Mejbri helped persuade the referee if he was in any doubt that that was a foul from McClelland.
If you're being cynical, you'd say he needs to wear bigger shin pads. Bit Jack Grealish about him.
They don't these days, though, do they?
No.
Said the two oldest men in the room.
He's a very talented player, Mejbri. Very talented player.
Touch is excellent, isn't it?
I would suggest he doesn't mind handing it out, and he's not too keen on receiving it. There's a bit of that about him, which is probably quite a good thing. He's very competitive, plays on the edge. But yeah, very talented boy, and almost this team's built around him to a degree. Just goes out there and does what he wants, really. Sometimes he's playing right up against the centre of the three in the first half. Other times he's at left midfield position, just floating about.
Jack Grealish in more than one sense, though.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. A very talented player.
Slice from McClelland out for a throw. So just a double header against Blackburn to go for Chelsea after this. First those games is at Kingsmeadow a week from tonight, rounding off the season on the 7th of May. Diallo, beaten away by Wadey.
Sharp, isn't it, Diallo? Always trying to engineer the space to come in field and strike with his left foot. Harvey Vale can't live with him when he's in that type of mood and moving at that pace, stinging the palms of Wadey.
But Harris has managed to get it here. Fiabema chasing. No foul. Can he finish here? Brian Fiabema. Good save from the goalkeeper. First save he's had to make in the second half, in truth, Nathan Bishop.
Yeah, surprised the whistle didn't go for that shoulder barge. Devine going to the deck, wanting the free kick, and unfortunately Fiabema couldn't find the far post. That's what maybe he should have done, angled to finish towards the far stick and had a better opportunity of finding the net.
Well to narrow the angle. Did look like it was a foul from Fiabema though. Fernandez. Langa, he's been the quietest of that front three for United. McCann to add his name to the list of scorers.
Yeah, they've played really well, the two central midfielders. Impressed with them in the first half, even when they were a goal behind. Very similar types, actually. I think that kind of works well for them. Both very secure in possession, play good forward passes, immaculate control. Look to be two good players.
Langa's finishing on the right. Strange thing to say when your team's 4-1 down, but I don't think Andy Myers will be particularly disappointed with how his players have performed tonight.
No, difficult circumstances. Be really pleased for the first 40 minutes, the discipline they showed. I just think probably individual moments when they've switched off. Could have defended some of the goals better.
Can again. Diallo, defended by McClelland.
Tough task when you're playing against good opposition, though, for that amount of time. And they've got an advantage, so would have just wanted to hold on to half-time, I suppose, and then you give yourself those little aims in the second half. Can you get to an hour? Then can they influence it from the touchline by making the right substitutions? Unfortunately, weren't afforded that because they conceded two in quick succession before half-time. So part of the plan's out the window when the sending off occurs, and then when they score those quick-fire goals, you're really up against it. So that kind of transpired against Chelsea, I would say. From that moment, it was going to be a real tough ask.
Here's how United might get a fifth before the game's over. Ilanga. Took away that time. bin of the boot to flick it out for George McEachran. Puts it in first time into a great area. Lima couldn't get on the end of it.
Brilliant move, two fantastic passes. Ballo and then McEachran flashes in it early. Brilliant ball.
Nice play from Henry Lawrence, meanwhile. What a goal that is. Chelsea get a second late on here. Henry Lawrence off the substitutes bench on his return from injury, firing one low into the bottom corner. And it's Manchester United 4, Chelsea 2.
Yeah, comes in field. No Man United player really reacts, but just smashes the finish towards that far post. Just arrows it in, really. Knows exactly what he's doing with the ball. As soon as he dropped that shoulder and took it onto his right foot, he made his mind up. That's where the ball was going to end up, and he executed it perfectly.
Ilanga, didn't quite get the touch. Ballo. Ballo. Whipped in by Vale, too deep though. Well, he'll be happy with how his team pressed home the man advantage that they've got. He'll be happy that they've ended this losing streak as well. It's going to be their second win in 7 games, Manchester United. Fernandes. And that is that. Chelsea's unbeaten run comes to an end here in the Northwest. Manchester United taking full advantage of the man advantage that they had for much of the game. Chelsea were ahead early on through Miles Peart-Harris, but after Lucas Bergstrom, the goalkeeper, was dismissed, Shola Shoretire scored twice right at the end of the first half to take it away from Chelsea. They missed a penalty in the second half. Mejbri's effort saved, but Diallo and Helm added further goals to mean that Henry Lawrence's late strike was scant consolation for Chelsea here. Final score at Lee Sports Village. Manchester United 4, Chelsea 2. Let's have a look back then at how the action unfolded. This is a great pass, Sam, to get Chelsea underway. Xavier Mbayamba.
Yeah, wonderful pass. He started the game in really good fashion. Get a stroke of good fortune, the way the ball ultimately ends up in the corner. Brandon Williams is wanting an offside flag. Peart-Harris looked to have timed his run to perfection. Took an absolute age to sort his feet out and get the strike away, and fortunately for Chelsea, ended up in the corner of the net.
So that was probably the only bit of luck that Chelsea got all night, actually, because not long after that, the Blues reduced to 10 men.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful pass.
Looking at it again.
Yeah, it was a no-look ball as well. Bit of disguise on it, bit of check on it for the run of Diallo. That causes the problem, just because the timing of the run and the pass is so immaculate. He has to come out to try and aid his back three, who are caught napping, and unfortunately sees red for his troubles. Bergstrom, real sympathy with him, but probably by the letter of the law, it was the right decision, unfortunately.
Took United a while to press home the man advantage, but they did it right at the end of the first half. 2 high-quality goals from Shola Shoretire.
Yeah, and you said he wasn't you know, dominating in this game, but that touch was just sublime. And look, there's 4 Chelsea players around him. He stabs it, doesn't he, really, through Ballot's legs almost, and just gets enough on it to take it away from Wadey. This one was superb. Again, the pass, one of those midfield players. Look at the pace on it. It allows him to get on the half turn. He knows if that first touch is secure, he's going to get a clean strike away, and he finds the bottom corner wonderfully well.
That was deep into first half stoppage time. Real killer blow that for Chelsea. Almost got to half time with their lead intact and instead went in at the break behind. Into the second half, and there weren't many chances for Chelsea, but this was a decent one.
Yeah, we didn't get a great look at that. Again, I think it was just a really good telling contribution from Wellens, getting a touch on the ball. Here he is in attacking mode. That was the penalty kick, wasn't it? It looked like Elanga actually just backed into maybe Livramento, and that caused the collision. I think that's what the Chelsea players are saying. Yeah, you can see, I think Elanga's just maybe just nudged him because he's appealing for something himself.
Shoretire couldn't take the penalty. The ref wouldn't let him. Mejbri saw his effort saved by Ethan Wadey.
Yeah, really good save, and a couple back-to-back, getting a bit of a name for himself in that regard.
But he couldn't do anything about the free kick from Amad Diallo.
No, he was a growing influence in that second half and didn't quite get the direction, got the pace though, and maybe Wadey could have done better with that.
And there was to be a 4th goal as well for United. Came from Mark Helm right at the end.
That was a really good team goal, actually, built from the left-hand side all the way across the pitch. And Helm, who had a good night in the centre of the pitch, right on cue, just to pass that into the corner.
But Chelsea kept going, and that is something which is to their credit, and Andy Myers will take heart from, and Henry Lawrence would get the last goal of the game. Actually, some really high-quality strikes in this match.
I mean, that's a wonderful goal, and that's a big positive tonight. Him back in action after missing a lot of football, and finds the corner with a beautiful arrow strike.
But it couldn't stop Chelsea from being defeated here tonight, but that is just the start of a massive week on the Fifth Stand and chelseafc.com. Tomorrow from 4:20, Matchday Live, build-up and then live commentary to West Ham United versus Chelsea. A crucial match in the race for a top 4 finish. Join Joe Clemens in the game for that, if you can. And then Sam will be back in position for the first leg of the Women's Champions League semi-final against Bayern Munich. That's Sunday, 3:55, our coverage gets underway. And the small matter of the Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid, Tuesday, 6:50. We've got Celestine Babayaro as our guest for that one. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock. You can join the team an hour and 10 minutes before that for all the build-up as the season builds up to a conclusion. But that is it from us tonight, from Sam Parkin and myself, Matt Davis-Adams. Many thanks for your company. Finish Manchester United 4, Chelsea 2. We'll see you again soon.